So the last thing we're going to look at today is the dashboard. And what we're actually going to do is explore how we set up subtabs, analytic links, and series selection. So if those are all mouthfuls, don't worry too much. We're going to investigate what those do, and then we're going to set up some reports. So I'm going to close my tab, my slide, and create a new tab. And first I'm actually going to have a look at an individual report so you can see what it looks like. So we're actually going to use this report on our tab. So let's just open it up so that you can become familiar. So this report actually contains some filters. And what we're going to do is use those on the dashboard. So I'm going to create a standard dashboard tab. And what I'm going to do is find that report and some others. So let's just locate that report and put in our live report and put in this comparison down here. We might put in this report, and we're also going to put in, where'd it go? Where'd my pie go? There we go. All right, so we've got 4 reports. It's relatively simple. Now what we're going to do is just arrange them so that they look a little bit clearer. Okay, so now what we're going to do is enable our filters. So to do that, we just go into this Analytics Setup menu. And on the left-hand side, we have a list of our reports. So it's selected my bubble for me. And you can see what it's saying here is, look, we've found these filters. Do you want to use those on the dashboard? So I'm going to say, yes, I do want to use those. And now what it's saying is, well, look, there are these other reports on the dashboard. Do you want those to get these filters as well? And what this is doing is temporarily applying filters to these reports, even if they don't have filters of their own. So it's going to apply these filters to everything. So one by one, we need to go in and say, yep, we want to use those. So I open this and it's saying, okay, well, we have these 4 filters. Do you want to filter them? So yes, I want to filter them. And basically it's saying, okay, well, this filter is based on a year field, so please show me the matching year field to use. Demographic, okay, well, I need to find my demographic field. Age at camp, I need to find my age at camp field, but I am blind, there it is. And then finally my gender field. So basically what you're doing is matching the fields up. So we save that and now we have a tick, and we're going to repeat the process. Oops, wrong one. All right, so we've linked all those up. So I'm just going to save this and we're going to have a look at this tab. Again, give it a better name than I do. All right, so on the dashboard, if I now open my filter panel, I see these filters, and if I apply them, instead of just applying to a single report, you'll see all of my reports update. Okay, so you can see those, and we can reset and they'll all reset. Now, once you've learned how to apply those links, there's a whole host of things you can link on. So I'll show you some of them, but they're all linked the same way. All right, so if I go down the list here, we'll see, okay, we don't have filters on this, we don't have filters, but maybe on this pie chart, I'm going to link brushing. So that basically means on the pie, I'll select an area to keep or remove, and it will apply the same selection to the other reports. So I'm going to say, yep, chart brushing. I'm just going to link that. You can see it's exactly the same way. So I'll just save my tab again. So now, if I brush on my pie and say keep, it will restrict my results to luxury and sport. And if I reset, it should reset all of my results. So you can link on brushing, you can link on a date slider, you can link on filters, you can link on data. There's a whole host of things that you can link on, but they're set up exactly the same way. So just have a look at those and investigate those. But once you learn one, you know them all. All right, the next thing we're going to have a look at is series selection. So I'm just going to create a report because we haven't actually created a chart with series selection yet. And what I'm going to do is create a few fields here, and we'll put in a couple more. Maybe we'll get rid of that. Okay, so what we need to do is create a chart that has multiple metrics. So we'll just create a line chart. And I'm going to drag these fields in. And what I'm going to do is going to settings, interaction, and enable this visible series selection. So we're going to save that. And again, make sure you give it a better name. And when I go to the output, what happens here is you can see I can switch the series that I'm using. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make a copy of this, and I'm just going to replace my category with something else. And I'm going to go into charts, and I'm going to change my chart to be a pie this time. All right, so now I'll save this as my series 2. And for luck, we'll do one more, but you'll see here we can change our series. And this time we'll change it from demographic to gender. And what we'll actually do is make it a bar. Oops, put it in the wrong area. And I'm just going to save that. Okay, so basically what we did was we created 3 charts and we made sure each one had the same set of series. So each one had invoice amount, cancellation fee, and camp rating. So now what we're going to do is create a new dashboard tab. And we're going to add our series in. So series 1, series 2, and series 3. And we're just going to make those visible. Alright, so now instead of my analytics setup, we're going to go into my series selection setup. And what happens here is I select a chart to control the tab. So in this case, I'm going to select my pie. And then I select the default metric that we see across all of the tabs. So instead of some of the charts starting out with 3 series and the pie starting out with 1, we're going to have them all just start out with invoice amount. And then what we're going to do is say, okay, well, on the line chart, when the pie chart is showing invoice amount, show invoice amount on the line. and do the same for cancellation. So you're just matching these up and save, and do the same for this bar chart. Save. And now I'm just going to save this. Alright, so what's happening now is we only have series selection on one of these reports, and as I select that, it's going to change on all three. So it's just a way of controlling the series you see across the entire tab. Okay, so let's just return to our, oh no, we haven't done sub tabs, so let's just edit this tab. And the last thing we're going to have a look at is actually creating sub tabs, and these are little mini tabs within the main tab. So if I go into my layout menu, we just enable sub tabs, and we can add another tab. We could call this one series and this one pies, and maybe we'll add a different layout to this one, and we'll put some different reports on there. So what might we have? We'll put that one, put that one, and we'll put that one. Okay, so those aren't the best looking pies you've ever seen, but they'll do for now. This is an example of labels that are too big for the space. So normally you would put this in a larger area. But what you can see here is I now have little sub-tabs. So it just allows me to move between content on the one tab. Okay, so that's actually all we were going to look at today. So let me just return us to our storyboard and we'll review what we've covered. So we've had a look at more advanced charting options. We've also explored KPI reports and tabs, the use of parameters, and the advanced reporting types of related reports as well as subqueries. And finally, we finished off with advanced dashboard tabs. So all of this was really designed to increase your content writing knowledge after completing the basic content writing course. And the next course that's available, if you so desire, is the data administration session. And basically this will cover things like creating data source connections, creating views, and so on. But until then, enjoy creating all that advanced content, and we'll see you in the next session.